Hi, this is Dr. Richard Ruling, here to share with you on the Total Health Channel. Our topic for today is how Christ's clues point to 9/11 and serious events for 2019, springtime, judgment, and we're going to look at it. First of all, we want to share an example from Dr. James Dobson, a psychologist who tells the story of a walleyed pike, a large fish about a yard long, loves minnows, favorite meal. When they put the walleyed pike in an aquarium with minnows, the minnows are gone in no time. But when they slide a plate glass down the middle of the aquarium, the minnows on one side are protected, and the walleyed pike sees them across the glass and attacks, but hits the plate glass. And it stuns him, sort of. He thinks that never happened before, but his attacks get weaker and weaker, until finally he doesn't even attack or strike at the minnows. Then they slide the plate glass out, and the minnows are swimming all around this walleyed pike, but he doesn't even go for them. He thinks he can't get them. So he's given up. And that's the way most Christians are with end times, and we would love to know when end times are going to start and begin and how to be ready. But we think, you don't know, you don't know. 3 times actually Christ said that in Matthew 24. I think it's a bad translation. The Greek word eido means be aware, consider, understand. And he was talking to disciples who were the cream of the crop. He didn't pick stupid people to be his disciples, but they just didn't understand until he said, well, it's as the days of Noah. Noah's flood came with Passover timing. Passover was a time of judgment, but in the 2nd spring month. It was in accordance with a provision in Numbers 9, verse 10 and 11. That's 9/11. Think that way. I think God arranged those details so that we are interested in 9/11 and end times, because that was a serious event for us. And 9/11 points to a clues in Numbers 9, verse 10 and 11, where there were 2 reasons for a delay in Passover or time of judgment. One of them was contact with a dead body, and that's what happened to Noah. He had to bury his grandfather Methuselah. The word Methuselah, his name, meant at his death the sending forth of waters. And he died as a sign the flood was coming. Methuselah was, as you know, probably the oldest man that ever lived in the Bible, lived 969 years old, outlived his son, so Noah, the grandson, had to do the burial. And he had contact with a dead body, but if the provision in Numbers 9, verse 10, 11 is if you've had contact with a dead body, you've had something sorrowful, you keep Passover a month later. And so that's when the flood came, with Passover timing. Noah entered the ark on the 10th day of the 2nd month. And that's the same time that the sacrifice was selected in Egypt. In Exodus 12, verse 3, they selected a lamb on the 10th day. Well, when Noah went into the ark and invited people to come, they selected themselves for sacrifice when they refused his invitation. God isn't arbitrary. He leaves the choice to us. And the right choice will often take faith. It isn't obvious, but Noah had faith to believe God's word, that he was going to destroy the world, and he built the flood. But people that didn't believe Noah, they selected themselves for sacrifice. The next parable after that is, then shall 2 be in the field. The word then means same time, okay? It's or as an immediate consequence. And so here are 2 parables right together. We might not think that Noah's flood was important for timing, but when the next one says then, it says, well, at that same time must be important. And the Luke's rendition of it is even better, because in Luke 17, verse 37, Christ said 2 will be taken, 1 will be taken, the other left. The disciples asked, where, Lord? Where are they taken? And Christ said, where the body is, there will the eagles be gathered. Now that's not good. You don't want to go where the body is. It's better to be left behind in this case. And so I know the industries have made millions, maybe billions of dollars on books, series, movie series, and so on. But sorry, that was a fictional series, basically. And so don't want to be taken, want to be left behind. And those 2 parables are from 9/11, Numbers 9, verse 10, 11. Going to look at the end of his last 3 parables, also have that same timing based on 9/11 as we're talking about. The one is the evil servant who begins to smite his fellow servants. And the next word in Matthew 25:1 is then. Then shall the kingdom be like 10 virgins. So, evil servant has the timing of the 10 virgins, and the 10 virgins, 5 missed the wedding. Christ said, you don't know and think you don't understand, and he says watch, which is a clue for Passover. Passover, they were to be awake. The word watch comes from the Gregorio, a Greek word meaning to be awake at night. And that's how Christ used it. When he told his disciples, watch with me. Couldn't you stay awake 1 hour to pray? He was feeling the need of companionship when he was facing his life and death issues. And so it was also in Egypt when they were to eat the Passover lamb and leave nothing till morning. It was a time of wakefulness. Well, that escapes us because we don't keep Passover. We don't know what it means. And when Christ says, watch, you don't know. It's like a man traveling to a far country. We don't understand their law. But if you the Israelites didn't travel in winter. If they took a long journey in spring, they couldn't get back in time. They were to keep it the second month. And that's how Christ ended his parables. He says, for the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country. That's the 9:11 clue, Numbers 9, verse 10 and 11. You can look it up. And he was cluing us so that in that last parable, even the wise stewards or servants knew when the master was coming. The slothful one didn't know, and he was taken by surprise. Well, we can be slothful, or we can tune in. Christians should be like the Bereans in the Bible in Acts 17:11 that says they received the word with readiness, and I'm giving it to you. Receive it with readiness and search and see if it's so. We've just looked at 5 clues that all support a 9/11 timing, and based on the Pope's coming 3.5 years ago to this spring should be huge, because there are 7 texts in the Bible, starting in Daniel 7, times, and part of a time, half a time. Those times meant 360 days for a year. The months were 12 months of 30 days each. And if you add it all up, it's 1260. And the 1260 is in Revelation 11, verse 3, time of judgment. That's what the previous verse is about, measuring the temple and those that worship therein. And then there's the 42 months of Revelation 13, verse 5, when the beast has power for 42 months or 3.5 years. All of this is impending, and I believe it starts 2019 at second Passover. We will get a heads up with Jerusalem Compass with Armies first, and I have a book on that. You can also get that book, but the one I'm promoting today is Turkey Soup for People Who Are Chicken About End Times. Notice the subtitle is about how 9/11 points us, U.S., to judgment in 2019. So please get it. Take a look at it. I believe that it's high destiny if we get it right. In Luke's wedding parable, he will make us ruler over all that he has if we are prepared and doing as he said. And we will be beaten with stripes if we don't prepare. That's what his words say in Luke 12, verses 47, 48. To whom much is given, much is required. I believe I've given you much. And please take it seriously, study it, and God bless you. Take a look at the information in the books. It's only $2.99 on Kindle. If you don't have a Kindle, you can download an app free for your phone or your computer. Saves paper, saves the postage, and is cheap. So God bless you, and we'll see you at the top, which is a high destiny. Thank you so much.